So, I really love cake. It's one of my favorite things, and I decided to make this really awesome decoration piece using papier-mâché. So, this technique is something that I created myself, and it's really, unique, and I think you'll love it. So, I'm going to show you. Now, I'm folding cardstock, and I'm going to cut it, glue it with the hot glue gun, and this is so that I could get the formation of the cake and start out some circularity. Okay, so the cylinder that I just made, I'm going to trace the inside of it to create another circle so that I could use that as a surface and have the first layer of the cake done. Yeah. Now for the second layer, I am just putting another cylinder on top of the first layer and marking where I want it, and that will complete the first layer. Of course, put another surface and voila. So here's the recipe for the homemade starch recipe. And I kind of did what I wanted to do on the measurements, and you can too. Now cutting some recycled paper into strips so we can start papier-mâché. And by the way, yeah, these coupons were expired, I didn't get to use them. I'm not wasting them, and plus somebody gave them to me, so I'm not guilty at all. Oh yeah, making it rain creativity in here. Now the fun part, where it's okay to make a mess. You can dip it as much as you want, get whatever consistency of water paper that you want, but just keep in mind that we are putting this on cardstock. I didn't use Modge Podge at all, so it's definitely gonna wop and wilt and tilt, but it's okay. I have a backup plan. So now it's drying time, and that's what's going to solidify this mache process. Yeah. Now I'm reinforcing the bottom / underneath of the cake, and that is going to push out any parts that were caving in and seeping down, and this is going to give it a really nice base to stand on also, and it'll kind of keep the shape even when it's fully dry. Now that it's dry, I'm going to be using this toilet paper to wrap around the cake, and that'll give me a really good texture, a really nice sense of smoothness, and it'll reinforce any area that needs to be, thicker, fuller, more round. So I'm sculpting the toilet paper onto the base, and I'm using a water bottle, brush, and still the homemade starch, and the brush is really good to help smooth things out and to really get a great mechanism for applying the tissue to stay. Now I am manipulating the toilet paper so that I can start sculpting the effect of the dripping icing from the cake. Now I'm using pre-cut gift wrapping tissue so I can just go over and smooth over all the texture we just created with the toilet paper. Now that it's all dry, I'm using gesso, which is an acrylic paint primer, and I'm gonna cover the entire thing. Now I'm wrapping heavy-duty masking tape on the bottom of the cake so that I can get the base for the border of the icing that goes around the cake. I'm using dry, folded, twisted paper towels, and I am hot gluing that onto the bottom of the cake so that we can create the illusion of piped icing that borders the cake. Now wetting and sculpting cotton balls so that I can get the gumball effect. And now still using cotton balls, and I'm only going to roll them out and wet them, sculpt them, and cut them so that I can get the giant sprinkle effect. After gluing on the dry decoration pieces and putting the gift wrap tissue back on there and gessoing, it's finally time to paint. So enjoy this. I like paint. In case you don't realize, I glued the cake onto the paper that it's sitting on so that the bottom will have a surface and it'll hide the cardboard and it'll just look all together and complete. For this cake, I definitely wanted to go for the cartoony effect, so I'm not really gonna shade and blend too much. So I use Modge to complete the rest of this project, and I use the glossy one and I also use the matte one. I put the matte one on all the gumballs and the sprinkles, and I use a glossy one on everything else on the cake. And Modge is just like a glossy or matte sealant, and it just is a really good thing to close out and finish the project. And as you see, this is a really nice finished look, and I'm happy with how it came out. I put leopard on the side of the first layer of the cake because I like things to look a little interesting and unique. So this is a really awesome papier-mâché sculpture and a really awesome decorative piece. You can really have fun with the visuals of this by placing it in different places of your home, and that completes my tutorial. So thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, yada yada yada, and bye.